Food Alchemy Network is a metaphysical or metaphysics from universal knowledge and understanding to enhance your esoteric field of body, mind, and soul, to bring oneness, to bring whole. Food Alchemy Network brings the knowledge in a tutelage for you to understand the metaphysics which surround you in your life journey. Welcome to Food Alchemy Network. Hello everybody, I am Dr. D. How are you doing today? I wanted to take you on a journey and I wanted to talk about some of the things in our spirituality and sexuality connection, some questions of taking in the goddess beauties of yourself. And I want you to ask yourself or say to yourself, man or woman, these are things that you can say. Ooh, da 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 da. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Ready? Imagine that women and men are equal. Just imagine. Imagine that life is challenging and giving to experience life. Imagine balance. Imagine that all humans are born to like, to learn, and to grow. Imagine that I can live my life, question my experience, and change my experience. Imagine I can help change conditions of my universe and my personal environment and issues. Imagine that I can listen to Creator, Source directly and need no one to be a third party. Imagine that I can be myself even in those times when I'm in pain that has been caused by others or myself. Imagine that I am my own power source and own creator of my environment. Imagine that all information that I question is for me to learn and educate and evaluate and evolve. Imagine that I can be a wonderful, gentle teacher to myself and an understanding student of my situation. Imagine that I am responsible person who will share my experiences in life elevation and evolving into a beautiful being. Just imagine that you could do that. These are some of the things that you think of when I think of when I am working with these different types of beings, meaning myself, to elevate myself, to get a better understanding of myself, to get a better connection with myself. These are things sometimes we take for granted and not really understand what's going on at the present time. And I had did a things of showing people the anatomies of different people and why I was showing them, basically giving a better understanding of them and the things that they go, because I learned a lot of my sexual experience education from actually having good friends that were in the Tantra community, as well as the Shilakwekwadosha Sacred Sexuality community, as well as some Tao members that in the Tigers community that was willing to share and help further my study of spirituality and education and how it comes. So learning about Taoism and the connection of sexuality and spirituality, there is a strong correlation of balancing body, mind, and soul. And part of the soul is actually sexual, not in the way that we in the West have proceeded, but a interconnection of feeding the soul with that in not only procreating, but connecting to expand your mind. Now, that's something that we'll get back to. Now, also doing Tantra, the union that you build, the connection from your chakras. Same thing with, I want to say, with sacred sexuality. It's about building a bond and connecting and building that force of energy in yourself as a male and female, and be receptive and giving the energy back and forth and understanding that flow of energy that's going through you and him, and that, or her, or whatever your case may be, going back and forth and being receptive and receiving and giving, receiving and giving, receiving and giving, and the build up and how it can actually explode into you coming together over the top, and you're exploding together of union and understanding, because when you get to the third eye, you're able to really breathe that energy in. You're able to understand that energy and focus on it with your partner and bring them in. You ever see people that actually take their head and they just like lean to another person, pretend this is another person and we're leaning, and to each other? They're actually doing their connection. That's a connection. That's an embrace. That is, we've been doing that since time of connecting, our soul connection. And I don't mean just the soul, but the higher super conscious self, that if you listen to my videos that's talking about, the higher super conscious self, connecting that third eye, connecting that source and our energy and our Christ-like and our higher conscious self, higher conscious self together, coming into one and connecting with the other person's higher conscious self. They're godlike, like something as simple as namaste. Namaste means I bow down to the God in you and I honor the God in you. And another person say namaste, they bow down to the God within yourself, because we've been so separated to believe that we are not God, we're outside of God, we're not within. But the truth is, we are within God. We are co-creators. We've helped build, shape, and do a lot of things. And the thing is that because we think we're separated from God. But when we get back into mind and doing that mind connection, it brings you even closer to source. and you connecting with source and connecting with that other person's God within them. Because we all are living, walking gods. We have the abilities and proclivities to be much more than we think we are. I wanted to share that. But let's get back down to sexuality and the connection. Like, it helps build us a bond of understanding and connecting with that partner. Sometimes a partner comes in your life to help you heal from the past hurt of other relations, to actually plant a seed of learning and evolving into the man or woman that you are today. That trauma and drama that you experience, to you're able, when you get with the right person and you're connecting, you're able to let the trauma and drama go, that you evolve, that it doesn't have a painful impact on your physical form. When something physical has an impact on you physically, it affects you emotionally and it affects you spiritually. And reason being is because our body tense up. So that's like when you're in emotion, it tenses up. And then when you release, you let go. Your mind tenses up. Your organs tenses up. Everything stops and it goes and it just becomes hard and it's at a standstill. So it's not able to flow freely like we flow. We flow freely. That's what the body does when it nurtures, when it loves. When we are drinking water, we go with one. We connect. Like, connect with your food. Connect with your partner. These are things that feed the mind and feed the body. Sitting down and just being in the yum position, meaning that you are knee to knee, chest to chest, everything's in alignment, your root chakra and everything. Now, you might have somebody a little bit smaller. So what you can do is that you can take the woman as you're cross-legged, your legs across, have the woman cross her legs and put them behind the partner, so you're root to root and you're connected. Like everything's connected and that energy builds up. And you can begin to do breathing exercises. You breathe and you start to get in sync with each other. When you slowly breathing in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, and let go. And you'll start feeling maybe a warm sensation in your root chakra, and it'll start building up. And sometimes this can also awaken the Kundalini energy within yourself and your partner, but it helps you focus. It helps you build that beautiful energy in the yang position. It actually helps you connect. It helps you see. It helps you feel. It helps you hear. It helps you know when you're in that position and you're going back and forth with one another and you're helping each other. It's a beautiful feeling that we don't do enough. We're not talking enough. We're going, sad or mad with the person, and we need to spend more time. This is even great time to spend more time with each other, getting to learn each other, getting to comfort each other, being connected to one another. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing and feeling that you can do and understand where you're going. You can actually, is a beautiful sexuality, spirituality, letting you know it's a building. It starts with a foundation of understanding who you are and what you are, even as a male, as a female, in a relationship, from different maybe mommy, daddy issues or parent issues. So if you have these issues coming into these relationships, they actually help you build a stronger connection to your feminine or your masculine side, but also it helps you release some of the stress from the feminine issues that you had or the masculine issue. Sometimes we can have a little bit too much masculine energy, and sometimes we can have too much feminine energy. We're unbalanced. But when we balance them, meaning our energy, because we as a body hold the masculine and feminine together, and sometimes it's off balance, and that comes from the trauma drama of what we experience in life, and we have yet to let it go. We still see it, and every time we think about it, it just is like a sharp pain in your heart. It brings that awareness, instead of maybe going in your mind and revisiting how you can change that and bring that to a better understanding would be ever so wonderful. So I just want you to work on those things of breathing, connecting, and getting to know your partner with that, but understanding your feminine, your masculine energy needs to be balanced, and how to basically we can balance that. We will work more on that and some expectations of a relationship that is spiritual and sexual, that it comes together and it coincides. It works when you're together. It helps you bond. It helps you build. It helps you know. It helps remove some of the hurt and pain when you start working on yourself spiritually and sacred sexuality. Some of us have been so hurt by being abandoned as a kid, as from our mother, from our that we were raised by our grandparents, because or our parents in general. One parent left, mother, father, whoever, in abandonment. That is in your heart, and then we'll talk about going into the child's shield and the adult shield and what it does. So this is a discussion for another time, and I want you to understand how they're related spiritually and sexually, and understanding and coming, just not the genitals, the genital action, but the spiritually, how we can grow and reach a higher plateau within ourselves sexually, that we can attract where we are at that present, or attract where we want to go in the future with our being of self, of evolving. So I hope you like the information I have. If you do, please subscribe down at the bottom and let me know. And share, share, share. And I hope to see you again. I am Dr. D. I hope you enjoyed this spiritual sexuality. It's been a pleasure. Bye-bye. Hello again, spirituality and sexuality and connections. I want to talk about that. It's almost like the elements we have in the world, which are water, earth, wind, and fire. They are connecting at a solar, super conscious level. The spirituality comes in. Consciously, we think of in our mind about sex. Subconsciously, we feel the sex. Super consciously, we are entangled, integrated into sex, and understanding the spirituality of the sex. Okay, now we're talking about that. So let's talk about how we have the masculines and the feminine within us. At the same time, we work on that energy to accumulate. Sometimes it can be off balance. The masculine energy as well as the feminine energy can be off balance and off centered. And what we mean is that sometimes our women are born intuitive, men are born to connect and connection with things. So when we have feelings, being a woman, which I am, uh, we tend, or like we know something, we say it, we explain it, we talk about it. Men have more of a connection, like they are the problem solvers, versus we explain our feelings and all of that. So when you have that imbalance, both of that comes in mind when we're balanced, that we're able to like get out the pros and the cons in our head. That means male and female because they have a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And it makes a wonderful connection. One, spirituality is that connection of balance when you are balanced in your feminine side and your masculine side. When it's unbalanced, it's not healthy, and that proceeds for I want to say, a healthy relationship, if you will. So that's one way of looking at that in a relationship. Some women can be bossy and aggressive. Um, some men could be shy, timid, and sit back. So when you have them both together where they're doing these things together in evilness and balance, it works. When you have a partner that knows these things as well, understanding the consciousness, understanding the subconsciousness, and understanding the super consciousness, and then working together, and basically a man being in touch with his feminine side and a woman being in touch with her masculine side makes a real balanced relationship. Now in these relationships, they grow and unite and come together. You get to know one another, you get to see one another, you get to connect with one another. I'm sorry. You get to connect with one another. And the goal is to become as one, either with yourself or your partner. And what I mean by yourself is that we live in a conscious world and we don't understand our subconscious or our super subconscious and the energy that it pulls and brings for us to have a better understanding of knowing ourselves and getting in touch with the other side of ourselves. Selves, not just selves. There's different parts of your self. Your your mentality, ugh, your mental clarity, your spiritual clarity, your emotional clarity, and especially your physical clarity. And you say, what about your physical clarity? So some are, if you will, trapped into their physical, meaning that it's all about what they see. It's all about that body. It's all about that look or feature or certain preference, and not about emotional. Are they emotionally mature? Are they emotionally connected? Are they emotionally there? Another one, mentally. Are they mentally stable? Are they mentally ready and strong enough for this relationship? Spiritually, are they spiritually connected to themselves? And are they ready to invite my spirituality and connecting with them before we engage? Now, these can be blocked as well as can be unbalanced. There's negative and positive to the emotional, the mental, the physical, the spiritual aspects of the relationship or balance within the body to actually be able to get into blocking them from getting into sexual spirituality connection, where they stay in that lower level vibration where it's all about feeling and all about feeling. And I mean physical feeling. When you know and you're connected with your spirituality. The reason that I talk about the physical is because we are looking for a reaction of that kind of release. And it does do good if you're releasing, and I'm not saying that it doesn't and brings you pleasure, and I'm not saying that it's not. It's good, but it's great to get into the super conscious of sexuality and spirituality when you get with your partner is more about not what they have or what they can give or what it's like, the physical aspect, but more so the spiritual aspect of having that partner, that connection, meaning and having a connection with yourself and doing the work of your child's shield, like your children's shield, like the little child in you, nurturing that child of the trauma and drama that was done to procure them as an adult for them to have the emotions they have as an adult, and then realizing what they can become or what they are becoming from the healing they procured from the teachings or the evolving of knowing themselves and coming in contact more with working in their subconscious self as well as in their super subconscious self. So, working with those elements and those frequencies and those energies, it can be simply marvelous of understanding who you are, what you are, and how to make it work, but then be able to take what you evolve and share with your partner and remove these anchors or hooks out of you and turn them into connections of energies like neutrons and electrons and protons, those being together, coming together in circle and making and creating or transforming the you that used to be you, that has no attachments or anchors to those emotions or traumas. Now, I'm not saying it's easy. It's not. It takes some work. It might even take you going to see a specialist to work on these issues that have gotten you anchored to procure even getting a great sexual relationship with yourself. What you see, hear, and feel are things, or your things that made you feel or replay of drama of your past experiences that brought you to put up shields and, or as my friend would say, armor. So we armor up and put a protection up, and our armor is always there to bounce off and not let our guard down. So we're not really sometimes able to get into that other level. But when we take the armor down, remove the shields, be open ourselves to be vulnerable with ourselves. Now you got to understand yourself. and what situation you're putting in yourself and connecting with your higher conscious self. But that's mean you've done a lot of work, a lot of removing, a lot of detachments, a lot of self-development, a lot of personal growth. When you get to there, you evolve and you start really working in that subconscious level. So you have a partner and he's good looking or she's good looking, and you're like, wow, boom, boom, boom. What is the first thing that you think of? It's basically to look like what I said, or is it you're attracted by the mind? Some people are mind people. They're attracted to people by their mind, and that turns them basically on by someone intelligent and smart and book smart, but someone may be savvy, creative, and understanding and have a survivor instinct, and that might attract you. So, if they have a survivor instinct, that's something that we need to work on, or they need to work on for them to maybe even soften the edges a little bit, to remove that. So, all depends. Or somebody has done all the work and they still have this attraction of what you have in common spiritually, mentally, physically, and sexually. These are things that you sit down in a relationship and you discuss exactly where you're going, what you want, and how do you see yourself going about it to see if you basically are in the right directions, because then the sex that you have can be meaningful, spiritual, and connecting and helping both of you thrive and reach it on another level. Meaning, when you're in your hiring spirituality sets, you are in another realm, another dimension, you're having like an outer body experience around different high vibrational means. And you're connecting back and forth with the Kundalini energy that's going through you, going through them, and shooting out to your crown chakra, because your root chakra, you have shifted and moved and grown and evolved and did your personal growth through there to get there. So now that you're working in that realm and understanding your subconscious, uh, guys, your superconscious, you'll understand about orgasms and the different kind of orgasms that you can have. Outer body experience orgasms where your whole body lit up and shake, and you can actually feel like they said, an orgasm is like a little death. You are outside of your body looking at your body actually go through the experience. And if both of you doing that, y'all both are having an outer body experience, you're connecting on a higher level. So it's not just about the act, it's about the mind and getting there where your body is very much aware, as well as your spiritual mind is much aware, your mental mind is much aware, your emotionally mind. That's why you got to be together emotionally to let go, because then if you don't let go, you cannot connect. And you cannot connect, you shut down. So you can be with someone but really not be there. You can be just this empty vessel that is just there going through the motions. But when you're connecting on that level, you're you're there but you're not there, and you're creating something beautiful, and you're also enlightening yourself, and you're also imparting wisdom on yourself, and you're sharing with your partner at the time that you're doing this the wisdom, and you're guided. Both of you are guided to talk and to get connected even further, and you keep trying to keep in that sacred space of sexuality, of coming together, that it becomes earth shattering for both of you. So I wanted to say thank you for listening to Dr. D about spirituality and sexuality, and hope you have a better clue of what I'm talking about. And I want to relate to you to the different types of relationships you can have besides homosexual relationship and heterosexual relationship. I want to talk about ambiance relationship. These are things that when you start really getting sacred or studying, you'll start to take part of and get information of what ambient relationship is, what poly is. And every relationship plays a part in your spirituality and sexuality, where you are as you grow and how you move forward. So, this has been Dr. D. I look forward to talking to you.